Uh-oh. This is a recording of a live stream. It may contain bloopers and frequent distractions. The audio and video quality may vary. Thank you for your understanding, and please enjoy.
So who wins? Who hits
Whoever
21?
gets the higher one, who gets to 21, or if someone passes the other one wins.
Alright,
Okay,
so we're at 8 and 11.
So I can roll without worry. Because I have nothing to lose. We're now at 13 on my end. And 15. Okay, I'm at 13. I can still roll without worry. Ooh. Now I'm at 15.
20.
You're getting close.
Keep rolling.
But you can only win now, right?
That sucks. Nope, I'm at
But-
17.
So I can also just decide to stay, right?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay.
So, I'm at 17, I need a 4. Come on, dice. Come on, Jesus! Oh! 21. I'm sorry, my friends.
Well
we can
played.
still do even, right?
Yeah, I can still.
Try.
No way.
Well, you said
I mean-
spade. Actually, black
Yeah, true,
it's over.
true. Yeah, true.
Ah, I see. So I guess that's 4 gold pieces to the Crimsonite fella. Mark it off of your character sheets.
It is 23 then for me, right?
2-1.
Yeah.
2 from you. And
right.
I'll hand one right away to Rurik. There you go, my friend. For your
Oh,
treasures.
You're too kind. I'll grab the piece, and once that happens, I'm just hitting the table with both my dwarvenish big hands, full of laughter, laughing my ass off, and by that accidentally punch my mug down, and the half full a mug full of ale runs over the corner of the table, dropping on the floor. And I'm just leaning back in my chair. It screeches of my weight, and I'm just gladly putting that coin into my very tiny pocket.
Alrighty then. As you finish your little dice game, we're gonna give the spotlight to our last fella, that is Blath. Blath, you are out and about in the city still. It's getting darker by the hour.
I went to the wrong address.
Yes, you went to the wrong
Every
address
time.
first.
God damn it.
You're more familiar with the woods and such. These big cities still confuse you sometimes. Everything looks alike. But after you've asked for advice, you finally found that big building that is the Yawning Portal Inn. You look to your left, you look to your right. Streets are getting emptier by the hour as well. But you still got a grasp by wandering through a few of the streets. Since you got the wrong address, you saw several points of interest in the city, like the castle Waterdeep, and you got a grasp of the mountain on which it rests as well. Anyway, you enter the Yawning Portal Tavern as well, and are greeted with cheering and drunken laughter. You see some fellas rolling dice, some minstrels dancing on tables. You look out and about and see no free table available as you're greeted by a big, bulky, Elaskin human fella. That is Durnan that I described earlier, which seems to be the proprietor. Hello, fella. Looking for a place to stay, eat, drink?
All
We
of
can
those,
provide.
actually. Yes.
I want to sit you with some other adventurer type, if you don't mind.
Right, go ahead. I seem to recognize one of those lads over there.
You seem to recognize one of them. That's interesting. Let's say hello. And he leads you to the table. You guys see Durnan in his like western tie, rolled up sleeves with his big bulky forearms, wielding like 8 mugs, big mugs in each hand, slamming them down at the table as it just interrupts your conversation for a bit. Hi fellas, found another one who wants to join you. Says he even recognized one of you.
Good evening.
Got another one. It's just like we got 3 ale here or something. Now we like polish shit that attracts flies.
You look up and you see this. Also, there appears to be another fella from the north. He's wearing a hood drawn deep in his face as well as Tamron. But his cloak is green. He wears battle-scarred leather armor and looks like a little bit like a soldier from the north, a scout type with a little wild beard going on. His traveling equipment thrown over the shoulder. Gives you a nod.
Yes. I know to everybody. Hello. Little hooded man. I recognize you from the boat ride.
Blath, wasn't it?
Correct, yes.
How
You were?
comes you have only just arrived? I heard the directions be given to you very clearly.
Well, I decided as a wise man to scout out the entire area. I want to know where to go tomorrow morning.
You ever heard that there's maps of the cities?
Now, who are you guys?
I grin. I grin and literally do this. Did you scout anything worthwhile then?
I might. Might have.
Well, get
Maybe
yourself a
explain.
drink and explain.
Well, first, good day, little dwarf man.
Good day.
His name's Blath.
Greetings, Blath. I'm just
Your
looking
name.
at you and just nodding and answering you very, very strictly, and no, like, you kind of have to drag my answers out of me with my mug resting on my dwarven belly.
You seem to be doing fine.
Aye.
Aye.
Good company seems. And not to the other two. Evening.
Greetings.
Well, Matt.
So we don't have names, I see. I will let you know my real name is not Blath. But call me Blath.
Well, Blath.
I do sit down, by the way.
Welcome to the stable.
Thank you very much. I see we're playing dice.
Well, and he grins at Zraythas. Yes, we are playing dice. Interested?
Always.
I have to warn you, I won the first game.
Go ahead, guys. The table is yours.
So, what do you want to bet? Or do you just do a friendly game for no gain?
As you unpack your dice once again, you hear a creepy silence entering the tap room. People
My
are
hand immediately
slowing
goes
down.
to my hand crossbow.
You hear a deep, grumpy female voice go, "Hey, you pig! Like murdering my brothers, eh?" You look out and about as you see this half-orc lady that you saw earlier just receiving a big punch from the eye-tattooed human feller, and there's like this tension in the room now building up. You see the half-orc lady getting up again, whipping away some blood from her mouth, and just going once again into the fray as your point of view gets blocked by the cheering crowd that builds around that encounter. So you guys, how do you react to that?
I throw a d6.
Rune looks at Rurik and kind of cocks his eye a bit like, shall I get involved? I'm feeling a bit rusty.
Oh no.
Before, even while Rune says these sentences to Rurik, he's already like, I mean, you can't really recognize him that he's on his feet because he's a dwarf. He's like, kind of standing next to the table, and he's like eager already to go into the bar fight. And well, depending on if somebody grabs him, stops him, says something, he will just try to go through the crowd right into the ring and be getting involved.
Well, fellas,
I begin to get to my feet slowly. The cloak I'm actually wearing right now resembles exactly what the action would be. I direct myself towards Zraythas, and as I reveal the side of my blade, I ask him directly, "Do you know how to use that staff?"
Of course I do. Why else would I carry it with me?
Well, it looks like now's the time. And then I turn to follow my new dwarven companions into battle.
there's only one dwarf.
Well, the more fun dwarf.
So you
then.
guys are setting up and heading right towards the crowd, right?
Yes.
Alright, your
Okay.
vision is slightly blocked and you just reach the edge of it and are trying to get through. So why don't you, each and every one of you, make an athletics check, please?
Okay, athletics.
Yes, that is a strength based.
Okay.
To see
Could I
whether you
try to dodge and weave my way through with acrobatics instead?
I guess that would be an option, sure. To go with the flow.
Yeah. Looking for a good opening.
Oh.
Can somebody tell me how to do that roll, please?
You go to your character sheet, you look for athletics or acrobatics, whatever's better for you. Click on that. And if you have the rowing thingy enabled, you have to drag a line across the screen to roll your dice.
Is it me or do I just not see that?
You can literally just click athletics or acrobatics in your character sheet.
Yeah.
Then
Like
it should
you
do a
did.
dice roll.
That is the problem.
Character sheet, left-hand side, you have your attributes.
Yes.
Then you have
Sure.
to save, below that is the skills. So there should be acrobatics, animal
Oh.
handling, arcana, athletics.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to follow Rune in the meantime, because it's very rude to leave the dice game.
Well, we didn't even get to start, to be honest.
I did.
But he didn't.
Last but not least, Redzy.
Yeah, one sec, just struggling with very basic stuff.
No worries.
First time for everything.
So I might explain how that stuff is calculated. So the program rolls, as you can see, like your a d20. You could do that manually as well.
It adds your modifier.
Exactly. It adds your modifier and potentially your proficiency, depending on if you are proficient in the skill.
Okay, let's just start from the beginning because I've clearly just not done it right.
No
so
worries.
I've
You can just-
opened. I click on my name in the character tab.
Exactly.
Bring me up.
Hit the journal, then you bring up your character sheet. Tamron.
Yep.
Right. Go
Yep.
to the character sheet.
Oh, then just go to
Core?
core. Right, I'm a
Exactly.
dummy. Yep.
No worries.
Okay.
Then to the left are the skills. You can just hit. For you, that would be acrobatics, because you would prefer that. Not the best roll, but still alright. So you have this. You guys are getting up earlier, but Zraythas, the silver scale dragonborn, his legs are a little bit longer and his steps are slightly bigger. He just gets in front and just
Maybe you're not the
bulldozes.
one that wants to do it, I'm not to do it.
Bulldozers through the crowd. Guys are cheering like, "Rah!" And then are just like thrown to the side, and before the crowd can close again, you guys are just slipping through pretty much as you enter this, 30 feet circle pretty much, where you see this two fellas, as you enter the fray, you see the half-orc lady on top of this guy with the eye tattoo, and she's like throwing one punch after another in his face. Alright, so what do you do? Let's go through it. I'm not sure if we can. Let's roll initiative for that actually.
Ooh.
We're gonna introduce like combat mechanic, like basic stuff here, because this is an encounter where like it matters who's faster, who can act first. So I'm just gonna add a turn now for every token of you, and you're gonna see the turn order coming up, right? And what you should be able to do now is just click at your character sheet the initiative thing and click.
Oh shit.
I think now it should be able. Help me out there, Fen. I think one is able to assign that roll, right?
The thing is, you need to click the token before you roll. You click
Oh.
on the map. Then
What
it
are
takes
we
over. But you should be able to change
doing?
your own initiatives by hand.
I'll re-roll my initiative, thank you.
What? No.
Oh.
You take
Wait.
your first results.
Ah, fuck. Oh, I can
Oh.
change, right?
Yeah, everyone
So-
can change it by hand as well. Like if you.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget to hit enter afterwards, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck off.
And if you
That's
that's actually
so
wrong
aggressive.
because you had a 7, not a 12. I corrected that for Blath.
Oh.
Tamron got the 5. All right, so I'm gonna.
Wow. That's nice.
Now we see the initiative order, what you
Yep.
rolled, and the person at the top, which is lighted up green, highlighted.
Yeah, that's the
It's
dwarf.
his turn. So, Rurik, you're the first one to pretty much enter the fray, because you still. You at the moment you enter the fray, you see this the half-orc lady just pummeling whack, one punch after another at this human fella at the ground who's just like trying to block, having his arms in front of his face. What do you do?
I like to see a person who is kind of under force because of his human being and half orc being big and strengthy, and my kind of force of being lawful and helping strikes in, and without a word, I just start charging to that orc, and if I can, I don't know, hit her, give her a punch, or grab her and pull her off the human.
You wanna tackle her off the human?
I wanna.
You can do so. Sure.
I wanna
make an athletics check. So you run at her with your short dwarven legs. Looks a little bit ridiculous. But you jump. Give me an athletics check, please.
Ooh. What the Gallian calls a grapple.
That's a 20. So you just have a hunch and grab her with your bare hands and just yank her. Try to yank her off anyway, because she can resist, obviously. So you have this half-orc lady. But she rolls really bad, and you just yank her off, and she rolls like boom, 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 over the wooden planks that is the floor. As you see, the human fella wiping away some blood from his face, giving you an acknowledging nod. All right. So that's your turn, pretty much. Zraythas, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
Can I like freeze her feet down to the floor?
What? Sorry?
Can I like freeze her feet down to the floor so she can move?
Absolutely. Sure. You can try to make a that would be pretty much the ray of frost. Yes. So if you go to your spells, to your spell page, I'm not sure how it works with spells
Yes.
yet, but there should be the ray of frost, right? And I think if you click that, yeah, it just auto rolls the
14.
He 2 hit. That's a 14 to hit, and that actually hits. You see the big silver-scaled, pardon me. You see this big silver-scaled dragonborn entering the fray, pushing through the crowd, slamming his quarterstaff at the ground. Chung! Speaking a magical formula, Irmas, Mirdur, just like in the voice of a titan, it echoes through the room, and out of his hand shoots a bolt of frozen, like misty energy that impacts at the feet of the half-orc woman, who just like from her knees got up and then gets pretty much immobilized, frozen in place. She gnaws at ya. Alright. That would be the end of your turn. Blath, what do you want to do?
We're bullying this lady so hard. I want to knock her over again.
With her... Oh wow, alright. You want to knock her over again, although her...
Will it break her feet?
That would... could happen.
Uh,
Physically speaking. I mean, you see the human fella getting up again as well.
Just so you're aware, I'm going to target the human when it's my turn, so it's up to you what you want to do.
You can also speak with the human instead.
So at the moment you're like...
I'm not sure
15,
if I want
15
feet
away.
if I'd want to create order or chaos here. To be fair, I want to kind of de-escalate the situation because I want to go back to my dice game. I will try to go and grapple the human, I guess, to hold him back.
Alright, sure. Make
That's
relax.
good. That's good. That's going to pair up pretty well with. That's going to combo nicely with what I'm going to try to do. So
You're just gonna stab him in the heart.
Alright, Blath. Okay. So a grapple is a melee attack, right? So you run to the human fella and make an athletics check, please.
Oh, that's perfect. That's.
And he gets, it's a contested roll, so he can.
Well,
let's
it's
see
my
who rolls higher.
proficient skill, so yeah.
17, nice. So let's see
I
what
got my
he gets. Yeah, he rolls poorly. So you just like grab him from behind, both arms, and just like, let me out.
Relax, young man.
And you've got the human grappled. Whose turn it is directly after yours. So he is grappled by you and just tries to break free. So that's a contested roll again. Your
So
athletics
strength
versus his,
or athletics?
yes,
Yep.
versus his acrobatics or athletics.
Okay. Oh.
He slips out of your grasp as he's just
hell
like
no.
yanking out and about. Just escapes your roll. What the fuck, man? I thought you helping me. And just runs towards the half-orc lady again, readying a punch pretty much. After that, it's Tamron's turn. So Tamron, what do you want to do?
I would like to have already been in the process of reading the situation that my companion was not going to successfully be able to restrain the human in their rage.
Just common insight, sure.
The odds
So-
are not in our favor.
So I would have thought that I would have liked to have begun sprinting to intercept and just simply trip the human and attempt to pickpocket their weapon out of their belt as they fell. So I
Alright.
could disarm them.
Sure. You run towards him and try to in his run try to put a leg in front of him. It would still be like pretty much a sharp action. So let's make an athletics check and let's see if he and he can contest that with his acrobatics to jump over that. So you make an athletics check. That's way better than his roll. You just like put your feet in front of him, and he's like falling over and just like face planting at the planks. He seems
Nice.
frustrated. And you said you wanted to grab something from him.
So as he fell, just hold onto his weapon from his belt so that I effectively disarm him
let's say make a sleight of hand check for that, because that would be really difficult, like in movement.
Okay.
So let's see if you can do it.
Ooh.
Yeah, easy enough. Within the pool, you just like take your hand and just like grab the short sword from his side and pull it out and let it disappear within your cloak. All right. After that, it's Rune's turn.
Yeah, Rune took his time getting involved, even though he made his way through the crowd as everyone else. Instead of rushing in, he's gonna stay at the edge of the pit, or whatever you want to call it, the clearing.
Yeah.
And he's gonna look if anyone else is like trying to get involved here. Like if there's anyone trying to back up these guys that we are trying to stop.
Make an insight check.
Inside. Not my greatest strength, but I'll try. It was on a 19, then it rolled to a 9.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate. Still, not hard enough. Not hard to spot you. These fellas seem to have some kind of uniform. So the clothing is pretty similar. Both crews wear leather armor, light and medium armor, but you can differentiate them pretty well. There are about 4 to 5 on each side that you see them like cheering in the crowd pretty much. As you see, for example, the half-orc being frozen in place, you see her guys pushing through the crowd and getting to the front to her.
Okay, I'm gonna turn to the others and say, they have backup. Let's get ready here for a brawl. And I just move up and draw my sacks out of my belt, getting ready, and I guess I'll take the dodge action for now.
All right. After you, it's the turn of the half-orc lady, who tries to break free of her immobilizing effect, which she succeeds, and she's just like struggling, but after a little yank, she's like cracking out of the ice. Stupid dragon, gonna cut you in half. As she reaches for her weapon and draws a short sword. All right. Before it's Rurik's turn at the top of the round, you see from the back of the crowd a big Elaskan male, which is Rune, just like walking through the crowd. They pretty much make room for him. As you see here, like a metal sliding noise of a big greatsword over the floor of the tavern. Ouch! He yells, and there's just like immediate silence. Both parties are pretty much frozen in place, not physically, but metaphorically speaking, and are looking to him and, did I stutter? Ouch! And he points his finger towards the door. You see this half-orcs lady, just like her eyes switching between each and every one of you and the tattooed fella who's just wiping a little blood out of his face. She points to him and says, "It's not over, Krantz." And she sheaths her sword again. You see like the crowd is slowly like backing off a little. And you see her and her fellas walking towards the main door. Durnan walks over to the human, who is still like at the floor, and is standing over him. "You little piece of shit, if I see you do that again, I'm gonna get the watch in here and they're gonna pummel at you. Now get out!" And so they see her, they look at him with a look of disgust for this weakness and this interruption. But apparently they are too. That is what your passive insight tells you. They respect that fella, and they are a little bit frightened. But they too leave after the other guys got out, and things settle down a little. The other patrons are walking towards their tables, and you are still standing there, sheathing your weapons, obviously, as Vernon just stays there and gives this grumpy look to each and everyone who wants to speak up. But after a few seconds, the kind of each and everyone feels a little bit guilty for cheering, and then they pretty much start the tavern life again. He looks at each and every one of you with an acknowledging nod and says, like, "Thank you for trying to keep peace, but these are troubled times. I appreciate it still. Next round's on the house." And he gives you a little acknowledging nod, and just like takes his great sword and goes back towards the bar.
As he leaves and gets out of hearing range, you see Rune kind of lean into Rurik and says, "He should take more care of his sword. Dragging it over the floor, it makes it blunt."
Alright, so you go back to your big oaken table, where you all take a seat, as Mary just came back. "Whew, that was some action. There you go. Dornan told me this one's on the house, so enjoy.
Thank you, Mary.
And don't start any trouble like those fellas.
No
That's not a
interest in
good
that.
idea."
We're here to enjoy our time, not to cause trouble.
Anyway, if I can get you anything else, just speak up. And she leaves you to it.
So, Blath, we were in
Back to our
the
game.
process of playing games.
Back to our game.
And he picks up the dice. I start with an 11.
Oh boy.
While you're giving it the dice, Rurik is
Oh
leaning
fucking
back,
gosh.
looking interesting in this, and looks to Blath. "Are you sure you want to lose some more money to this fella?"
I never lose.
Sure.
You're
Where's
at
fuck?
15?
Yep, I'm at 15. You're at 10.
10.
Come on, give me a 6.
I'll
give me
catch
a
up.
6. Give me a 6. Give me a 6. Ah, 19.
Oh! We're at
So
16?
you're now at 16. I'm gonna stay at 19.
I couldn't possibly fuck this up.
No, go ahead.
Oh, he's a 20?
That's a 20.
Yep,
you can
you're
still
good.
hit the 21 if you want.
No,
Think about it,
I
sit
set
on
a
this
state, so he won.
Ah.
But we didn't even bet on anything, so whatever.
Excuse
Why
me,
was
what?
it
We never said anything about betting. I asked you, and then a thing happened.
Another.
Tamron, as this game of dice is going on, you listen carefully, and you are, I just checked it, with a passive perception of 14, which is the same as Blath, but Blath is preoccupied at the moment. So you are the most watchful person at the moment. The passive perception determines what you like perceive without actively looking or hearing, just like in the background, right? You hear odd sounds piercing through the atmosphere of the table and the tavern. Once again, kind of odd. You just like wonder for a second and concentrate on that noise, which is just slightly less loudly than the rest in the tavern. You just focus on it and you realize it getting louder and louder. It is like a little humming noise. Almost echoing from the midst of the tavern. What do you do?
I lean in. I lean in towards Zraythas, sorry. And I say to him, "Do you sense anything unusual here? Magical?"
If it's me you're talking about, I'm used to that.
No, something else. There it is. Can you not hear that? Do you feel anything?
Now that you talk about it, I do hear something, but I have no idea what it is.
And at this very moment, you see several, as first 1, then 2, 3, 4, more of these creatures. They look like a cross between a bat with an axe-winged bat and an oversized mosquito flying out with this.
I was totally gonna say that. Awesome.
Flying out of that well, as you see a humanoid hand with claws at the very front yank over the top of the well and drawing over, and you see this creature, humanoid, white, grey, rotten, greenish skin, with its mouth like falling opening wider than with a normal, what a normal person would be able to, like, splits open. You see this flashy, toothy maw with this like 10-inch long tongue, like slithering about. And you see 1, 2, 3 of these creatures, which are like stinked at by these oversized mosquitoes. They enter the tap room. Now each and every one got to notice what is going on, and the patrons close to it are and you hear some screams echoing through the tap room, and that's where we're gonna have to break.